Yes, good afternoon everyone. Bonsoir tout le monde. Welcome to this page and to our live broadcast this afternoon. I will be the one anchoring today, and as usual, you're free to intervene, comment, share, like it, show some love, envoyer le cœur, partager, and invite others to watch with us as we talk about a number of issues, especially relating to our revolution. It's going to be an interactive one, so if you have something to say, either in English or in French, you are free to join. I will talk mainly in English, but know that I do understand French, so if you want to intervene and you want to talk just in French, you can do so. Donc, ce que je dis est que je veux parler plutôt en anglais, mais si tu veux intervenir, tu veux parler, tu as quelque chose à dire, tu peux venir parler en français si tu ne peux pas parler en anglais. Donc, c'est comme ça qu'on va marcher aujourd'hui. Donc, partagez s'il vous plaît, partagez et invitez les autres pour venir nous rencontrer ce soir. So meanwhile, as we're waiting for a few more people to join, let's just get some music.
Comment se fait-il que plus vous dites plus qu'on des sont même d'assaut? Bobo, avant, moi bibi, Jessino, la mango, ou était nommé. Pourtant, Banque mondiale, FMI, tout de Paris, a d'abord la structure financière de notre hospital avec majoration. Crédit remboursable dans 100 ans. Plus des années d'échelonnement, dans du CCF, Diaga, Fondiaga, Fondiaga, de Oka, Moulé, Mopéado. Donc, non seulement pour nous, c'est pour l'entendre la Dinga, we don't want to hypothéquer à venir pour nous dans forever.
Yes, 5 more people and we'll start.
Le comble, c'est que on ne peut l'entourage de LFA, oui. Contrôler. Bikati Kapopola, la China, de l'Onkacha, on a pour les Yankankan pour Potapi. On a même un HFM château pour side by side. Au vu et au su de tous. Ignorant avec les prix, arrogance et insolence. Tout le monde contribue. Peut-être que la mettre à moyen d'un côté convainc que oui pour effectivement.
Yeah, that music is the most appropriate one to start a day like this. When I don't hear la periode in Bangai self, it's like the sick way Cameroon get now the one way it really needs serious solution. And you know, It talked about, first of all, the economic situation. So Cameroon has had a problem. It does not start today. It is a problem that has been there for a very, very long time. It is a problem that every one of us will have to resolve it. Well, even if they put everyone, send people to Kondengue, or they do what the BIA regime has been doing, that will not stop us. Même s'il envoie tout le monde à Kondengue, il ne peut pas nous stopper. He cannot stop us. That is what this is all about. This revolution, we will get called names. We will get castigated. People will say all sorts of things about you. Your own family will be against you. But one thing I want to tell you is that you're writing your name on the annals of history. You are entering history as one of those who stood up when Cameroon needed someone to stand up for them. You are one of those who stood up when your country needed you. One great man said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And what that means in French, roughly translated, is ne demande pas ce que ton pays va te faire, mais ce que tu peux faire pour ton pays. Et le moment est ici pour que nous libérions notre pays. The time is here for us to liberate Cameroon. You and I have a duty. And so I have a program today, which we're following. I'll be looking first at a recap of our revolution. This revolution is a very complex one because they fight for the liberation of Cameroon. That's why I started with Lapiro. The fight for the liberation of Cameroon did not start today. It's been there for a long time. Lapiro fought and died. He said, I go brass before they mung me, but I go brass that. So he spoke knowing that he could die, but he spoke. Lapiro de Banga savait qu'en parlant, on pouvait le tuer, mais il a parlé. Il a parlé. Donc, whatever we are doing today, what you and me do today, even if people stand against me, no matter what, know that you should be ready to stand up for your convictions, stand up for what you believe in. There are people who have been fighting for long, and I will start with the Maquisards. Because plenty we think say the fight started now today. In the 60s, the 50s, and the 60s, when everyone was thinking that everything was fine, Southern Cameroons joined and became what they call the Federation and everything. The Maquisards were fighting for the liberation of Cameroon from France. France killed 120,000 Bamilikés. 120,000 Bamilikés étant tués par la France. La France a tué Enes Wandi, Félix Moumé, Robert Umnyobe. For what? Because they were fighting to liberate Cameroon. In the 80s, the people from the north stood up. Many of them were killed. Ahidjo, who was a president of Cameroon, he died in exile because they wanted something better when they saw that BIA was not delivering Cameroon. Lapiro started from 87, start talking about the economic crisis, austerité, talking about la dette que le pays a, the debts. In 1990, Nijon Fundi brought multipartism. People died. In Bafoussam, people were killed because they wanted freedom of expression. They wanted Cameroon to be free. In 1990, people died. Can we allow these people's blood to be in vain? 1992, the SCNC started. And that has continued. And continued. 2008, Cameroonians poured out in the streets, asking that they should not change the constitution. They fought. People died. Blood was spilled. 2016, lawyers, English-speaking Cameroonian lawyers and teachers, they were asking for common things. Simple. Just give us a legal system that is it commensurate with what we studied. We are common law lawyers. Don't force us with the civil law. And the teachers, they said, you know what? Make our institutions to be what they ought to be. Simple demands. The government did not grant it. The government went out, cracked down on them, arrested lawyers, beat some, took some, went to the University of Boya, put university students in Poto, put children inside sewage, and that is when the Anglophone crisis escalated. We had moderates. We had people, reasonable people like Agbogbalan Kongo. We had people like Fontaine Nibawe, Tassang and this, they were leading this struggle in 2016. But what happened? The government cut the internet. Ils ont coupé l'internet pour 3 mois. They arrested Agbobala, they arrested Congo, they arrested Aliapo, they arrested the moderates. And what happened? They thought that by doing that, they were going to destroy the struggle. But I say you can take out one person, but you don't take out the idea. The idea of liberation for Cameroon has come to stay. And we shall liberate that country. We will stop being foreigners in our own country. Running away everywhere you go around the world, you see Cameroonians. We are everywhere in the world. I went to India in 2011. And in the slums of India, I saw Cameroonians. Sans-papiers, à l'Inde. A very poor country in terms of looking at what they were doing. But they have run away from Cameroon and they were in India struggling, looking for ways to survive. When Cameroon is one of the most blessed countries in the world. So the question of independence from France, which we never got. France has got to leave Cameroon. France has got to leave Africa. This is what this is all about. Don't think that it's just about one little man in Yaoundé. Because if it's just about Bia, Bia is small. Bia est trop petit comme ça. So we are not going just against France, Bia. We are going against him. We are going against France. We are going against the England and the US. China, these people who have decided to use dictators to hold our country hostage. We are standing against all of them. So it is a fight that will take long, but we are going to liberate our country. We are going to complete the work that the Maquis had started. The Maquis ne sont pas morts pour rien. They did not die for nothing. We will liberate Cameroon. And the liberation of Cameroon will be linked to the liberation of the whole continent. Because the 14 countries that are still slaves to France will be liberated. So, I'm not going to give you a history of what happened in the last 2 years, from 2016 to 2018. But Bala was released, and by the time he came, you know, things had moved, things had changed. There was Sisiko Ayotabe, who was also moderate. He was a strategist. He had ideas. He has been arrested and taken to Kondenge. He was arrested from Nigeria. They broke all sorts of laws and took him to Kondenge. Did it stop the people of the Northwest and Southwest? It did not. It only made people more radical. It made young people, some who don't even know what they are fighting for, I must say. There are lots of criminals now who hold guns and tell you that they are Ambazonians or they are fighting for freedom. They are not fighting for freedom. People who fight for freedom do not imprison the same people they are fighting for. But the government has made that possible. They have destroyed the fabric of society, and thugs and hooligans now control the streets of our villages. The Cameroon government is to blame for every life that is lost in the Northwest and Southwest, because you failed to handle the problems of states as a government should. Our people die daily. People are kidnapped for ransom. Women are raped because you did not handle the problems. Today, prisoners that were broken from the prisons in Dop, from the prisons in Bangui, from prisons elsewhere, these are the people going around telling you that they are fighting for liberation. But what they do is basically kidnap people for ransom, do all sorts of atrocities. How did we get there? Because we have a government, a regime that does not know what governance is. It does not deal with situations as they arise. It thinks that the use of force is the only way it can deal with situations. We want to tell you, Pobia Vim Vondo Barthélemy and your government, Atanganji, the ragtag, the criminal, Atanganji, Betty Asomo, whatever his name is, all those idiots who call themselves ministers. We want to tell you that we, the young people of Cameroon, have decided we will reclaim our destiny. We are not going to allow you to use force again to continue to hold us down. And here we are, 2 years down. The whole Anglophone struggle, what has it become of? I know many people, why I'm going to link this because I'm talking from the brigade and this and I'm not talking about myself alone. Many people complained. Many of you complained. Many of you, my brothers from the Northwest and Southwest, you complained. Oh, our Francophone brothers are not joining us. They are not joining. They are not coming to fight with us. They are not coming. And I remember in 2nd of January 2017, we had people who joined. And let me just point out that on the 25th of November 2016, Kempta was there with us. So he joined from day one. That was the first day I did a demonstration in London. Kempta was there. These people came and someone told them in London that you were not wanted. And it was hard because I thought of it. If I am coming to join your fight, at that time it was just an Anglophone problem. But if they are coming to join and someone tells you they are not needed, why should they join? And those things were recorded live, so everyone heard that you are not needed. But I told them that there is no way we are going to win anything if we don't have everyone, because this problem is bigger than every one of every individual. It is a Cameroonian problem. It starts from Yaoundé. It starts from Yaoundé and it extends to France. It extends to the UK. It extends to Beijing. It extends even to Washington, D.C. So if you think that you can solve the problem by localizing it to Batibo, to Widikum, to Munya, to Ekondo Titi, or to Lebialem, you are grossly mistaken. That is where our problem has been. We thought localizing a conflict can make it go. We localized it, we boxed ourselves in, and the military has been killing people. And then they've killed most of the people who actually had a vision. Like General Ivo. That young man had a little vision. He's been killed. The ones who have been led by the military, they don't touch them, are the ones that are really causing havoc. Why do you think the military has not gone after your field marshal? Because you think they can't get him? No. Because they know that he's not really doing anything other than making noise on social media. That he will go down and lie down with a gun and take a pistol and come out and do a video and talk. That's all. He's not doing anything. That's why the military has left him. Because they want people who can create more problems. What has been happening in Bafut over the last few days? The military has been using helicopters, going around and killing people. Killing young people who have been brainwashed to think that if they kill 5,000 soldiers, if they kill 1 million soldiers, they will just get independence. It's not going to happen. If you kill soldiers, you don't get independence. It doesn't happen that way. The way to do it is to force the power in Yaoundé to be able to give us what we want. And what we want is to liberate Cameroon from the clutches of France and Britain. That is what we want. That is what we should be asking for. Because that is the real enslavement. That is where it starts. So whatever you're fighting for, if you have not started hitting Yaoundé, you have not started asking that BAS should go. Because BAS is the epitome of the problem. BAS is the epitome of the problem in Cameroon. He symbolizes the problem. If there is a problem in Cameroon, that problem was born the day BAS was born. And I curse that day BAS was born. I curse that day that man was born, because he has brought untold suffering and hardship to Cameroonians. Now, we are here. I listened to Chris Ano the other day, and he was saying that people should not join MRSA and Kamto and Nijon, and that is what I just don't understand. That is what I am talking about, looking at a recap on the state of our revolution. Chris Ano, I watched your program. I know that some of your followers watch me. I watched and I listened to you say they shouldn't. But I was happy when I watched some of your followers asking you, so what next? You keep saying that don't do this, don't do this. All what you do is recap what has happened. What exactly are you telling the people to do? Our people in the Northwest and Southwest have been suffering for way too long. And now this is an opportunity to join forces with everyone who is tired of the dictatorial regime of Paul Biya and get him down. And you're telling them not to join. What do you want? Shut down, like you've just announced? 10 days of hardship imposed on our people again? 10 days of another opportunity for the military to go around and kill people with impunity? Is that what you want? I don't get it. In October last year, build up to October, we said the elections was an opportunity. We do not expect to win the elections outright, but let our people come out and vote so that they can defend it and fight like we are doing with Kamto. I wasn't an MRSA member. I'm not an MRSA member, but I support Kamto wholeheartedly because he fought a valiant fight during the elections and in the Conseil Constitutionnel. He went there and showed the world that BIA has lost legitimacy. That is why I stand with Kamto. I don't stand with Kamto because I am a member of his party. I stand with him because he has an ideology that matches with mine, liberating Cameroon. That is what you have to understand. There's a distinction between the Brigade Anti-Sardinat and MRSA. And that is the confusion that is even going on in Yaoundé. Many of them think that the MRSA controls the Brigade Anti-Sardinat. That's not true. The Brigade Anti-Sardinat is an independent organization operating with its own mind, but it latches onto ideas that are going to liberate Cameroon. It is against the Sardinats, and anyone who supports the BIA regime is a Sardinat, and anyone who is a Tontinat is our friend. That is what you need to know. That's the distinction. Because Kamto is a Tontinat, that's why he is supported by the brigade. We are not MRSA. We can support them if they want to do something. And as well as we support any other person who is doing something that is going to liberate Cameroon. So, in the shutdown that was, I challenged the shutdown that time and I asked, so can anyone tell me in the comments, let me see what that shutdown achieved. Tell me what that shutdown achieved. I'm looking at the comments to see if someone can tell me what that shutdown achieved. Nothing. It did not achieve anything other than that our people lost businesses. Many flew. More internally displaced persons. They ran away. They did not achieve anything with that shutdown. Only thing is that the military was able to go in wherever the military went. The CPDM won. They were able to rig the elections and they made the Northwest and the Southwest won for BIA. Not because of anything, but because, you know what? Our people were not able to go out. I don't blame anyone for that. We are testing the ground. None of us was born a revolutionary. None of us was born a freedom fighter. We will make mistakes. But we ought to learn from our mistakes. And I believe that we should have learned that shutdowns only serves the purpose of the military and the BIA regime. It does not liberate our people. Telling our people to sit at home does not stop the military from breaking into their houses and taking them out. Telling the people to stay in does not stop their shops from being broken into and their things stolen on ghost town days and on days when no one is out looking. The military is never stopped from going anywhere. So that strategy is only helping the regime. Let me say that for sure. That strategy of shutting down is helping the regime in Yaoundé. It's not helping our people one bit. So the question I ask is, when you made the mistake, which we all, some of us saw, but people did not understand, you made that in 2018. Why are you repeating it now in 2019, in February 2019, when people are coming out, you are telling people to stay in? You want people to stay in and the military means then yes, they are met outside also. But I'm not asking anyone in the Northwest and Southwest to come out now because it is bad there. But I'm asking the people in Douala, Yaoundé, Bafoussam, Konsamba, Ebolova, Edeya, Kuseri, everywhere in the other regions to come out massively and stand up for what you believe in, the liberation of Cameroon. You cannot continue to live in Douala, in the swamps of Douala, where the biggest rats in the world can be found, where all the mosquitoes in the world are found. And you think that you are living a life. You are living in prison in Douala. The airport in Douala is like a swine dump. Liberate yourselves from that. Liberate yourself from it. And the only thing you can do is to come out and show the world that you are not happy. Listen to Matron Doki when she was shot. What did she say? There were not many people. There were not many people. If there were many people, this might not have happened. So you that did not come out, that you that watched from your window, you allowed the regime to shoot Matron Doki. You cannot sit back and watch from the fences. It's past that time. The people of the Northwest and Southwest did it. They came out. 22nd of September 2017 has gone down in history as that day when everyone in the Northwest and Southwest said we have had enough of this regime. Some people twist it and think that people just came out because they wanted something specific. Many of those people don't even understand what you mean by Anglo-Saxon. They came out because they're tired of living in slavery. That's all. People came out because they're tired of the system of governance, the corruption, the nepotism. That is what people protested for or against. People protested against all the ills that has entrenched Cameroon and held our people by the neck, gripped them until they are suffocating. That has made all of us to run away and come to the UK, to France, to Belgium, to India, to go anywhere. Mexico, you see Cameroonians. South Africa, even Equatorial Guinea. Cameroonians go to Equatorial Guinea, my brothers and sisters. I watched a video. They deported someone from Equatorial Guinea and he got to Douala Airport. Si je vais rentrer là-bas, je vais rentrer là-bas. Rentrer où? À Guinée Equatorial. Wanted to run back to Equatorial Guinea because Cameroon is that bad. A country that their people came to Cameroon to study. We are all on exile from our own country because of the hardship and the difficulties in living conditions. We are here building, working to build other people's countries. Because if you come to Cameroon and you want to set up a business, it will not work. Unless you've got enough bribe, you've got enough situations to bribe and help and push, or you've got a godfather. That is not the country we want to live in and our children to live in. If you've got a child or you hope to have a child one day, or you've got a cousin or a nephew who is still a baby, know that you owe that child a duty to liberate the country for them. They cannot live through what we are living. We cannot continue to see our own country as a place where we just go there for 2 weeks and run back. Where you come in and once you reach the airport, you smell poverty. I lived in Nigeria for 7 years. Every time I traveled to Cameroon, every holiday I came to Cameroon. As soon as I crossed, even if I came to Ekok, or I came to Limbe or Tiko, or I came to the airport, as soon as you left Nigeria and entered Cameroon, you could feel poverty in the air. Poverty go just hit you for face like so. Poverty. La pauvreté au Cameroun. Ça te frappe comme... That's mad. That's, you just understand. You see the desperation on people's faces. I'm talking of living Nigeria. I'm not talking of Europe or this. Nigeria. You cross to Cameroon and you feel poverty. You know, the people who have traveled from Nigeria by road, when you travel, there's Ecom. The Ecom road comes, is third good road. Nigeria has problems. Don't get me wrong. My Nigerian friends who are watching, don't think that I'm saying Nigeria is a paradise. I would one day talk about Nigeria. Nigeria has got its own problems, so don't get it twisted. But I'm saying it's, with all its problems, with its population explosion, it is better than Cameroon. That is what I'm basically saying. And the reason is because Nigeria has been, with all its struggles, been changing presidents, and we've had one dictator for 37 years. When you cross Ecom, there's a Sanakang bridge. You walk on foot and cross that bridge. As you cross Star Ends, you see a forest and a little hut. That is where the Cameroonian police are. And when you get to Nigeria, the Nigerian border, when you are going in, they see you, they look their documents, everything is in order. They say, welcome to Nigeria, we hope you enjoy your stay. When you are a Cameroonian and you are returning, they ask you for bribe. To enter your own country. That means everyone who travels out of Cameroon is a foreigner to their own country. So this is the problem. This is why we need to stand up and fight. And when I say stand up and fight, I am not suggesting that you take up arms unprepared and face the military. Because those guys are trained by Israel, and Israel does not teach people how to deal well with civilians. They do it with the Palestinians. They kill Palestinian women, children every day. So know that the bees are not trained to deal with civilians. They're just trained to kill. I don't suggest that you take arms against them without the right preparation, without the right training, without the right ammunition, without anything. So, now we have an opportunity. The moment is here. Last Saturday, I wrote on my wall that strategy loading, and people were asking, tell us the strategy. I told you, I won't tell you the strategy on social media. I told you, I won't tell you, you'll just see it happening. You guys saw it. First, with AFCON. When we said here, the Brigade Anti-Sardinat said that because Etofis was a Sardinat, he made himself a Sardinat. AFCON that he was chasing was not going to hold in Cameroon. I'm sure people thought we were joking. People thought that the brigade was joking. Some people laughed. I know some of the artists laughed. Who is laughing today? Who is laughing? Where's African? Where's Khan? We said it will not happen. It pains us that Cameroon is not getting that golden opportunity. But ask yourself, is that what you want to host without road, stadium, nothing after 46 years? The last one was hosted in 1972 when Ahidjo was president. Is that what you want? Biya wanted to use CAN as a way to justify his stay in power, to tell you that he has achieved something at least in his lifetime. But we have denied him that one thing. We denied Paul Biya the opportunity to host CAN. It's an honor Gisimang like that. Yes, the date has just slid down the road. You continue to slide. And when you chase it, you also slide. Toi aussi, Paul Biya, tu vas glisser. You go slide on top that road where date slides so. You go slide. And when you fall, you know go wake up again. So when that happened, I saw some people went up on social media. Oh, we did it. We stopped CAN. We did it. Well, I didn't have to argue with them. How did you do it? I'm not going to tell you how we did it because we don't talk our strategies on social media. End of story. I'm not telling you how we did it. Les brigades anti-sardinat ne dit pas la stratégie sur les médias sociaux. Donc, if you want to belong, you join a group and take action and you know things as they happen. But we are not going to tell you how that happened. But one thing I will tell you is that on the day Cameroon was playing Brazil in the UK, in Milton Keynes, MK Dons, when I went live there and I told people there live that you will not see, AFCON will not happen, I know some people laughed. Some people laughed, but it never happened. That's gone. We did not sit down and wait. We warned that if Biya should touch any protester in Cameroon last Saturday, we are going to respond. We are not going to respond with violence because we are not a violent people. We are not going to respond with violence. Rather, we would respond in kind. And you saw the response from London to Paris to Berlin to Brussels. You saw it. People can say, oh, what rubbish they want to say about it. You can cry all your crocodile tears. But one thing I can tell you is that Yaoundé felt the pinch. Yaoundé went berserk. The Cameroon High Commission is observing its own ghost town. I have always asked you, why is it that we, the diaspora, cannot impose ghost towns in the diaspora? People never understood what I meant by that. We are not going to tell people to this. The Cameroon High Commission represents Cameroon. And the Cameroon High Commission in the UK is observing ghost town by force. 3 days shutdown. That is the shutdown that I want to see. And guess what? If we are united in the UK, if every one of you who is feeling the pinch of what I am feeling, you come out, we can shut that place down perpetually. We can make sure that the Cameroon High Commission does not operate. And let me tell you what that means. It means no visas to Cameroon for any foreign national, no passports for Cameroonians who have foreign nationality, no money coming into that place. It means no diplomatic relations. Theresa May will not be able to give Paul Biya the 1.5 billion to continue to use to impoverish our people. Biya will be forced to succumb. Imagine that happening in France, in Belgium, in Germany, in the UK, in the USA, in China, in every place. China might be a bit tricky because of its laws against protests and things like that. But know that when you are at an embassy, you are in a foreign land. If we do that in every place where Cameroon has a high commission, you have effectively stopped Cameroon from engaging with the rest of the world. You've stopped Biya. You don't tell me to come to Yaoundé because I can do it from here. Since you guys were protesting or stealing and fighting and doing is, how many times have you seen people go on air to cry? People have not gone on air to cry because of what you did. You did not protest in Yaoundé. Kawala, I give her all the respects. She's been taking marches in Yaoundé. Did you see anyone go on video to cry because Kawala protested in Yaoundé? No, I am not saying that it's not important. It's very important. It's so important because it has to show why we are doing it. There has to be a synergy. But if you do it there and we do it here, then it works. We are here. Let's use the moment we are. It works. So I'm asking you, whether you call yourself an Amazonian, whether you call yourself a Southern Cameroonian, whether you call yourself a West Cameroonian, whether you call yourself a Nordist, or a Beti, a Bulu, a Bamlike, all of us are victims of a system. Come together and bring down the system, and then we move on from there. When we bring down the system, then we can begin to talk again going forward. It does not end. The revolution doesn't end. We're bringing down the system. But it's the first step if we really want to move forward. So I don't know. I would tell you, if you listen to Chris, I am happy that I have got some brothers who listen to Chris and say, no, Chris got it wrong this time. We need to join forces. I am happy, and I want to pay homage to my brother Ivo Kuka. When he saw me live in front of the Cameroon High Commission the other day, he dropped everything he was doing and came down there. Him and I, we don't have the same political ideology. Him and I, we don't have the same idea of what the outcome should be. But guess what? Him and I were holding hands and fighting. The person who traveled with me from Birmingham to London that day, Metro Samit Batenchacha, I argue with him every day because I don't agree with most of the things that he follows. He doesn't agree with me. His opinions are different with mine. But when we were going to fight Bia, we were in the same car, arguing over on the road and going. And we went there and we did what we did in front of the High Commission together. Tim and I were not arguing when we got there. That is what freedom, fighting for freedom is about. In South Africa, the ANC joined with different organizations, the South African Indian Congress. They joined with the Communist Party. They joined with different people with different ideologies to fight apartheid. People do not need to agree with you as long as you guys have a common vision. The vision now is to liberate Cameroon. And when we liberate Cameroon as a whole, different parts of Cameroon are also liberated. And the liberation of Cameroon starts with the dismantling of the edifice that has held us hostage for way too long. The colonial structures that were built, handed over to Ahijo and handed over to Paul Biya, those structures have got to be brought down for us to be a free people. In Paris, you saw, they thought that they were going to stop them. They didn't. They went in there. I hear people crying over passports and this. I don't know if they even destroy passport, but if they destroy themselves, what next? Are you really proud of holding that passport now? How many people really? And guess what? People don't know that when they say it, it actually makes me happy. Because when people were protesting about what is happening in Cameroon and all what was happening, you sat down there and you were preparing to your destiny. It's mostly when we tell you that will hit you where it hits everyone every Saturday night. It's unfortunate that some people get suffer when they don't really deserve it to. But if you were part of a revolution, you understand why it is happening. You will not cry. You will say, you know what? This is what I have got to sacrifice. This is what I've got to sacrifice. I know some people need to go for burial. And they couldn't go because they cannot go to the High Commission to get a visa or this. I'm sorry. But tough. I know people in the UK here whose parents have died and they couldn't go because if they go, they will be arrested. Yes. So, are you better than them? I know people who have stayed abroad for many years. They can't go to Cameroon. So, let me ask you. If someone like combatant Kempta now loses someone, do you think he can go to Cameroon? He cannot. Because he will be arrested and put in dungeon. So he is doing it for you and you want him to pay all the price. No, sorry. Sorry, it's not going to work. You pay something. If you cannot come out, you pay a little price. If your passport was there, tough. What was your passport doing in that place in the first place? If you are applying for a visa, tough. I'm not going to apologize for it because the target was not your passport or your visa. The target was the Biya regime and you are just collateral. And what I want to clarify is that no one was hurt physically. And the response was in response to people being shot. So people were shot at, hurt physically, and we responded. We did not hurt anyone and people are complaining, blaming us. I've seen a lot of people, Anglophones, Southern Cameroonians, coming to my wall and blaming me. People like Amanankele, she doesn't stand for anything. She'll blame anything. I'm sure that if you change the name and say Kele Amana, she'll blame it without knowing that it's her name that has been reversed. They go around blaming for everything. They don't realize that what we are doing now is desperation. I've been out on the streets of UK for 2 years with the West Cameroon Movement for Change, the Southern Cameroon's community. We have been to the Cameroon Embassy, the France Embassy. We've been to the Commonwealth. We've been to Downing Street, Houses of Parliament. We've carried coffins on the streets. Nothing, no response. Nononkele, you are in London. You are in Wimbledon, enjoying your privileged life. How many times did you come out when it was peaceful? Then when we now decide to step it up because they were killing people, you come and you try to condemn. See our life? I'm talking to her and I'm talking to the people who are trying to rationalize. To think that there's a justification. You want to look at the actions of those in Paris and what happened before people went into the embassy in Paris and in Belgium and in Germany, in Berlin. What happened? Why do you think that they just went? Why did it happen in the evening? Because we had said, if you kill someone or you shoot any protester, we will do it. We'll express our freedom. When we went to the Cameroon High Commission, you know, through them, the eggs there, they've shut down for 3 days, and they're going to shut down for more days. Because they don't even know when they're going to open. They said 3 days officially, but they don't even know because the order has to come from Yaoundé. Everything comes from Yaoundé. So if Jai is sick, the country is sick. But what I want to tell you is that we did not do it because we stood to gain anything. We did it because we wanted Yaoundé to react, to realize that we are not going to stop. And which is why I will talk about, you know, the lockdown or no lockdown. Personally, it doesn't serve anything. Locking down 10 days, 5th to 15th, is not going to serve anything to help our people. It's going to only help the military and the BIA regime to kill, because they are on a mission now to exterminate any form of resistance in the northwest and southwest so that they can focus on the other sides of the country. It is your opportunity to either liberate your own struggle or you let it go down in flames. I am saying this. Pass it on, share this, share it with Chris Anos, share it with Ayabacho Lucas, share it with all those who are proposing a lockdown. Know that you are helping to kill our people. You saw what they did in Bafu the other day when there was no lockdown. It is going to be worse when there is a lockdown because these boys will be isolated. I am not supporting the boys, but I don't want them to die. I'm not supporting the Amber boys. Don't get me wrong. I'm not supporting anyone who is picking up guns. I'm not a violent person. I've got my own nature of violence. I don't believe in killing human beings to achieve political ends. I don't believe in that. The Brigade Anti-Suicide has not been talking about war. You've not heard us talk about war. So we don't believe in that, but we don't also want you to die because we need you to push the revolution forward. When those who can travel to Douala and Yaoundé travel and motivate people there, let them fight. Saturday, people are going to be coming out more than they saw the last week. Now, because they've arrested Kamto. So the lockdown, instead of locking down, lock down Yaoundé. And we can lock down Yaoundé. How can we lock down Yaoundé? So I accept there's a lockdown, there should be a lockdown, but the lockdown should not be in Cameroon, the lockdown should be in the diaspora. So from the 5th to the 15th, instead of asking the people on ground zero, who have bled every blood, who have sacrificed everything, who have run away and become internally displaced, who have nowhere to live, instead of asking them to make another 10 days of sacrifice, we in the diaspora can make 10 days of sacrifice. What about that for a change? What about we in the diaspora taking it up on ourselves that from the 10th to the 15th of February, no Cameroon High Commission or embassy in the world is going to operate? What can we not do if we do that? Why can't we do that? And give the people a breathing space. Chris Anu, why can't you organize the blocking of the Cameroon embassy in Washington, D.C.? Why do you need to continue to ask the people on ground zero to sacrifice? What can't you do that? Let's do it. Stop telling people not to do it because it is a winning strategy. It worked. Yaoundé quaked in his boots on Saturday. They held a meeting at 11 p.m. They've got confused. They've run around. They've arrested Kamto. They've arrested Clement. They've arrested other members of MRC. They are now trying to blame him for what Kamto does not communicate to the brigade and he doesn't tell us what to do. So they just to tell the regime that they are being stupid as usual, to think that Kamto told us to do what we do. But just watch. It's not, of course, the embassy is down. It doesn't mean that that's the end. When you erect it, it will go down again. We are basically saying, if you want to operate from France, to do your business from France, to do your business from Paris, from New York, from wherever in the world, from London, then let our people go. Free our country. Let Bia go. Pour Bia dégage. That's the bottom line. So join us on Saturday. If you are in Cameroon, if you are internally displaced, you already lost everything. You are in the Douala. Join out. If you are afraid of being shot, stay in the back of the queue. There are people who will go up forward in front. I never thought I would ask this, but I'm just saying, you want to feel that you're doing something. You want to feel that you are doing something. And I'm not saying it because I'm prescribing to you. I'm saying it because I also do it. I'm doing it from the position where I am. Do it from where you are. Yesterday, General Sandy talked about donations to help. Because while I might have a car here that I drive down to London when they need be, I go down there, I fuel it, I go, I carry people who want to go, and we go. It's a lot of expenditure. It's a lot to pay, even just the congestion charges in London, the parking in London. But I don't complain. I do that. I can make that as my own sacrifice. If it happens that I have to sacrifice any other thing to go there, I will. But there are people who want to, but who cannot afford it. If you want this revolution to continue, but you cannot put your face out there, you cannot do it, support financially and get people to do the work and liberate the country. Get people to join and liberate Cameroon. You can do it, donate financially. They think everything will be accounted for. We are not asking for huge sums because we are not going to, and it's not going to be hidden. Because what the money is going to be used for is not something that we'll hide. We'll not hide it on that thing. We are not buying sugarcane and granite, so we will not hide what the money is used for. And I'm not collecting it personally. It's going to the brigade. So you're not doing it for me. But I'm just saying that that's another way to help. But we've been doing it for 2 years and I'm not asking for help and I'm not going to continue personally asking. But I know that there are loads of combatants who want to join, who need support. When some of our members wanted to go to Lyon to go and stop Ketino, someone paid 1,500 euros. Someone did that and made it possible for that Sardinat to be stopped. So you can do your own. So on the issue of lockdown, yes, there should be a lockdown, but not in Cameroon. The lockdown should be in the diaspora. If you agree with me, show some love. Let's lock down the diaspora and shut Cameroon out. Locking down the diaspora is basically locking down Yaoundé. Because every embassy in the UK, in the world, is linked to Yaoundé. And that's why you saw them quaking. Locking down the diaspora, locking down embassies and high commissions is a way of passing a message to all the Sardinats. We can reach you in different forms. There are several ways to catch a rat. So, what's the next thing? We're talking about the abduction of Professor Maurice Kamto and others. I just mentioned that. But what I want to do is put it into context. Into context. I just mentioned the abduction of Bala and the others. What happened after that? You saw that things escalated. But what people don't realize is that it's not just about the arrest. It's about the person you arrest. When you arrest someone like Kamto, it just shows now how Atanganji, the stupidity that he really is. Because he basically gave us reason to fight more. They thought that they would arrest people in Washington and intimidate them. What happened? They released all of them. They just dismissed that. No one is going to indict you for attacking an embassy when you show them the videos. Take me to court in the UK and I will show them all the videos of the people you've been killing. Air them in a court and see who the judge will go after. Whether the judge will not understand that my reaction is an act of self-defense. My reaction is an act to tell you to stop killing our people. My reaction is an act to tell you to liberate Cameroon. My reaction is an act to tell an 86-year-old senile dictator to let our country go. Take me to court. Why do you think they did not arrest us in the UK? Or they did not arrest in Belgium? Or General chez, nous is still working in Berlin? Do you think they can arrest them? But if they try to even do that, they're only helping us go further because we make it a political trial. Maybe some of them have not read Revolutions. The best time, the time that Mandela became popular was when he was taken to prison. When he was taken to jail, to court before being sent to prison. During a trial. It was during a trial that he's made his mark as a revolutionary. So keep arresting people. You've just broken so many laws arresting Professor Kamto. But just wait. You just arrested him, but you did not arrest the ideology. And you think that by arresting him, everything will stop. I've just told you, he doesn't whisper into our ears what to do. So the Brigade Anti-Suicide has actually moved from one level to the other. He just moved from here to here. So you can arrest, keep arresting. And let's see how much you arrest. But I can dare you, come and arrest me in the UK because your High Commission and Embassy in the UK is not going to work. So if you can't arrest, you can come and arrest me. So, the days ahead, what is basically I've just talked about is what can you do? Stop sitting behind your computer. Stop sitting behind your decks, your iPhone, your Android phone, your tablet, and just making comments. Come out and do something. Take a step. That step starts now. You can take a step. You can make a difference. Take that step. That bold step. I am not asking you to become a member of Brigade Anti-Suicide. No, we don't need new members. We're not looking for members. I'm asking you to be a member of what you belong. But let us work in synergy with each other because we've got a common problem. We're not recruiting, but we can work together. Irrespective of what colonial language a person speaks. Combatant Kemta, for example, I've been working with him for more than 2 years. I've not had a disagreement with him. Do you know what? I don't know what his political agenda is. He doesn't know what mine is. I don't think that we even think that there's a political agenda. But when we go out to march, we go out together. When I met General Sandy, I never asked her, okay, tell me, what is your ideology? What do you stand for? When I saw chez, nous marching in Germany, I did not call him on the phone and say, what do you stand for? When I see Max Ivoire on live, every day fighting, I did not ask him. I don't know what he wants to gain. And it doesn't matter. When I see Calibri, when I see all these amazing people, HP, Serena, the people I've just been fighting with in the UK, Mike Etake that I've been with from 2016, I don't know what he stands for. Philomena Cho, Angel, I don't know what they stand for. One thing I know is that we agree on one thing. That we should bring down the Biya regime and liberate Cameroon. That is one thing I know. And that is enough for me. When you believe in one thing alone, you agree with someone on one thing alone, that is enough to launch a fight. Hold on to that thing that you believe and fight for it. Stop asking me. Someone came today, I'm not going to call his name, and asked me, oh, are you for this? Are you for this and this? And I said, look, I don't even know what those things even mean anymore. They don't mean anything to me. As long as I can stop the killing in the northwest and the southwest region. And the only way I can stop the killing is not to inflict more pain and killing on the people. It's to push Biya, push that regime down. And that time is just here. We can do it. But we need to unite our forces. We need to come together. Stop asking people what they stand for. Because you know what? Even in the Labour Party in the UK, people don't have the same ideology. They are the far left. They are the middle and the extreme left. There are the different types. There are different types of people. People do not need to agree to be able to stand for one thing. All this, whether you speak French, même si tu parles le français ou l'anglais, ce sont tous de langue coloniale. Ça ne sert à rien. In the grand scheme of things, English or French means nothing. That was a language imposed on us. We are first and foremost Africans. We're Africans, and all of us Africans need to stand together. Hold our hands and fight against colonialism. When Nkrumah was fighting with Lumumba, and Samuel Marcel, all these guys who were fighting with NS1G, did you hear them talk about English and French, Anglophone, Francophone? It didn't mean anything to them. They wanted to liberate Africa. We have got to liberate Africa, and it starts with you, it starts with me. And we can do it by realizing that our common future is linked to the liberation of that continent, freeing ourselves from the bondage of colonialism that is embodied in the person of Barthélemy Paul Biya Mvondo and his mad wife, Chantal. They are the embodiment of the madness that has engulfed Africa and Cameroon. We need to liberate Cameroon and make it again. That country where it was called Africa in miniature. That country where people loved to talk about. We can do it. We are going to do it. And it's going to happen with a link between us here in the diaspora and the people on the ground. In the diaspora, we work within the confines of the laws of the countries that govern the countries, the countries where we are. We are not going to break their laws, but we are going to push the boundaries. I can promise you that it's not going to be a walk in the park, because I know that if we walk in the park, then 20 years we'll still be talking. We are going to push your boundaries. I'm promising the UK government they can listen to. I know they follow, because each time we just have a message out there that there's a protest at the Cameroon High Commission, they come with emails. They come with emails, so they are following. So I'm telling you, we are not going to break your laws, but we are going to push the boundaries, because we need to push it. Your government continues to support the Biya regime. Your foreign secretary was one of the first to congratulate him, even though the elections was being contested in Cameroon. You congratulated him. So you owe us that much. The Commonwealth Secretariat owes us, because Cameroon is part of the Commonwealth, but we've been to the Commonwealth several times, and Patricia Scotland went to Cameroon, came back, and her mouth has been sealed. The British government has probably told Patricia Scotland not to reveal her findings from Cameroon. Since that woman came back from Cameroon, she's not spoken. Because what she saw is something that is going to destroy the UK. So she's not spoken. But I want to tell you, you can silence Patricia Scotland. You can silence Antonio Guterres, or whoever that UN Secretary General Stooge is. But you cannot silence the people of Cameroon, because we as a people, we have our identity. We stand to be liberated, and we will do it with or without the United Nations, or with or without the Commonwealth Secretariat. But I want to tell you that because you guys are standing on our way, we will push you down to get there, and we will do it. We'll become a thorn in your fleshes. The police officers in London were telling us that day, oh, you are making us use more than half of our resources. Yes, but that was the idea. We want you to spend money because of phobia. Spend money in policing your streets because we are protesting. When you spend enough, you tell him to stop. When you spend a lot of money in London, at the time when you are struggling with Brexit, when you're struggling with austerity, when you're cutting the police forces from the streets, when crime rates in London are at an all-time high, when you spend money instead of policing your streets, your police officers are there trying to stop the Cameroon High Commission from being attacked by us, then you will tell Biya, and the moment you tell Biya and Biya leaves, because you guys can do it. You did it. France did it with Ivory Coast, so you can do it. Don't tell us you cannot involve in other countries. France has intervened in Africa more times than we can tell. So, you know what? Stop supporting him. Let's isolate him and get him out. And we'll stop disturbing your streets. But until then, unfortunately, we are here and we are not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere. Don't think that you threaten us with this, because I keep telling people, even if you are in Europe, même si tu es en Europe, et tu es sans papier, you don't have papers, stop being afraid. Stand up and tell them that you're not going anywhere, and you're not going anywhere. Tell them you cannot go anywhere, because you know what? These guys did not take visas to come to Africa. When they came in 1916 and partitioned, no, first 1884, when the Berlin Conference held, there was no African representative. When Germany came to Cameroon, took it there, killed Douala Mangabel. They took over Cameroon. They did not ask our opinion. They did not take visas to come there. When the British and the French came in 1916, and by 1918, they partitioned Cameroon into two. And by 1922, the League of Nations recognized it. They did not ask for visas. Their people came in, raped our women, pillaged our resources. They never asked for visas. Today they tell you that you need visas to stay here. It's rubbish. Stand up and tell them that they should go to the Cameroon if they want someone to go there. That you are not going. That is what we from the movement of justice by any means necessary stand for. That is what Black Lives Matter UK has been standing for. That's why they stopped a flight from going out from an airport. Tell them that you are not going. And you, if you're in Cameroon and you want to travel here, if you travel and you successfully travel, not the fear. Not only fear person go, they will put you on a plane. The day I go to Cameroon is the day I choose to go. Not because any British person told me. I'd rather die than go because you guys never got any permission to come to Africa and destroy it. So I'm telling you, if you think that you are scared because the Home Office, that is your fear that is keeping you bondage. Stop being afraid. And for people who think that maybe I'm talking now because I'm out of the waters. I said this when I still needed them to give me. And guess what? I won. So I will speak anytime and anywhere. And I will continue to speak. So people like Almanankele come and said, oh, you know, asylum seeker, asylum. So what? Is it a problem to be an asylum seeker? I mean, come on. You married people, some people get married, fake marriages just to get papers. Some people get all sorts of fake documents to get papers. And you think that being an asylum seeker is a problem? No! If you claim asylum because there's a problem in Cameroon, that's your right. Because there's a problem in Cameroon. If you claim asylum because you go to Cameroon, you die on the streets. Because a car will hit you down in Douala, or because there will be an accident in a Seka, in a train, and you will die, or because in Yaoundé, the police can just shoot you, or because you go to Bamenda, they will kidnap you, you kill. If you claim asylum based on that, you are doing self-preservation, and which is what the asylum is meant for. The Geneva Convention of 1951 is meant to protect people who are at risk of death or persecution. So you are doing the right thing. Self-preservation. Never be ashamed of it. So people don't, let people not make you think that, oh, you know what? It's this. No one. It's better if the person is talking in Cameroon, then I will respect them. And they are in Cameroon and then they had the opportunity to come and they didn't travel. I'll respect them. But while we are here, don't make it look like, don't let no one make you think that you are, you know, a second-class citizen, or because, you know, because you did something wrong. So basically, I'm telling you, you need to stand up wherever you are. In Europe, whether you have papers, you have documents, you some paper anywhere, stand up. Stand up. The time to liberate Cameroon is here. The time to liberate Africa is here. And I want you to write your name. Take that pen and write your name. And say, I've written my name in history as one of those who stood up when there was need to stand up. So in the days ahead, I'm not going to make an official announcement whether we are having a demonstration this Saturday, because I'll need to confirm that with Brice Nietzsche, so I can't make that announcement, but we might have in the UK. Just watch on this page, you will get that information put out there. I just watched now the people in Italy, they've already announced the 9th of February. The 9th of February, there's a demonstration in Italy. The Brigade Anti-Satellite in Italy, they're organizing a demonstration. If you are in Italy, join them. If you are in any of the countries nearby and you can travel, join them. And that is where financing is necessary, because with time, we'll even be getting people to travel by bus to other places so that we can join and make the forces stronger. We will do that. But one thing I can assure you is that the train has moved and it's not going to stop until Cameroon is liberated. So, but I can also tell you that, also watch. Because even if we are out on the 2nd of February here in the UK, on the 9th we'll still be out. But I'm going to get confirmation and it will be posted on this page. If you are in the UK, if you are from Nigeria, if you are from Congo, if you are from Senegal, if you are from Congo, DRC, or you are from Ivory Coast, South Africa, Zimbabwe, because you guys are already facing a similar situation like we are facing, join us. Tell us when you're having yours. We'll join and we tell you your ours and we join. We join forces and we make it. Come with your flag. As long as you agree that when you come with your flag, you carry our banners and we do it. And when we're doing, we come with our flags and this. Come. Let us fight and liberate Africa. Those who cannot make it, those who are far away, maybe in Scotland and you cannot make it, think about it. Make a little donation. Drop an inbox to the Brigade Anti-Satellite, and so they will link you up with the person dealing with finance, and you support someone who is going. You support the making of banners. You support the making of flyers. You support that. Transportation. That is it. and you'll be supporting it. If you cannot travel, if you're not well, if you're not, so there are several ways you can be part of the revolution. If you are in another street, a city in France, and you cannot make it to Paris, make a donation. If you are in a country in Europe and there is no way to travel, and there are no demonstrations there, support it, do something. I quoted Martin Luther King Jr. yesterday when I came on as a guest. I said, you know what? He said, if you cannot fly, then run. If you cannot run, walk. If you cannot walk, crawl. But for heaven's sake, keep moving. You have to keep doing something. Do something to move yourself from point A to point B. We cannot get stuck in the middle without any point of going forward. So, if there are any persons who want to add their voices, I'm happy to take you on. If not, then I will probably summarize and then, let you continue with your day, and looking forward to see as many of you out in the demonstrations as possible. So if you want to join, if you've got something you want to contribute, if you've got something I've said that you want to counter, this is a democracy. You're free to counter whatever I say. We're democratic that much. You're free to counter, and I won't shut you down. That's why people come to, even the Sardinats come to our page, and they say what they want to say. We just let them be. Because we allow them freedom of expression. We want to teach them by example. That we necessarily do not agree with you, but we are not going to stop you. We will defend your right to express yourself. Someone like the idiot called Ahmed Kameh, when I was live in London, he was laughing when they were talking about the Anglophones that were being killed. He was laughing. I had the block button. I could just block him, but I don't block him. I allow the charlatan to be there. That is me showing him that I'm superior, that he has the freedom to express himself. And that's all what we are asking for in Cameroon, that we can express ourselves without being shot at. That a young man can walk down the street without a police officer shooting at him from behind. And by the way, we are still trying to locate that police officer. Him and his generation are anathema. He should better claim asylum somewhere outside of Cameroon, because he will never be a Cameroonian. A Cameroonian does not shoot other Cameroonians from the back. This is a promise. So I'll just give us a little bit of that music that I started so that we can,
Pour aussitôt de croissance à la bonne santé pour l'économie. Ou alors, n'a pas confirmé vous c'est dorénavant. Le remplacé au calais, n'a pas calais, faut qu'on déguise. On fait bien des assassins. Pendant crédit au niveau chaque jour chaud, ils montent à combien? Oui, puis l'on fait combien? À l'État combien? Non, maintenant ça vit. Allez-y donc savoir si le peuple a le droit de regarder quant à la manière où les droits vidéo. Nadal on a dit mais laissez grand frère qu'on fait. Payer les dettes en ignorant la balance et le mécanisme macroéconomique qui est papa. Vous êtes très fort. Oui. Voilà. Puisque généralement dans le papier dans notre boulot, tant qu'on peut échéance sur notre crédit, les imaginaires pour un petit débrouilleur. Par sauveteur, à la baille à la bacanque taxe, par écho libératoire à la péage routier. Pourtant, dans votre même pour all des fossiles avant que d'entretien à la matérialisation. Faut-il cela pour déplacer qu'est-ce que non? Au lieu que des rapports d'anti-cadre à 2,0 pour les 10 millions par mois sans compter les avantages réguliers.
Okay, I'm just seeing some messages now. Yes, Helen has just confirmed that there's a demo on the 2nd in the UK. So those in the United Kingdom, just get ready. And I'm also seeing from Valides here that there is a meeting on the 9th of February in Cologne. So just put that, if you are anywhere there, near there, it's your opportunity to get involved. Do not say you did not know something was happening. I'm happy that yesterday, when we were having the live, by the time we finished, I got some messages from people who had just sent me inbox telling me, when is the next demonstration in the UK? I knew we had achieved something because people were asking to get involved. That is what you should do. Send a message. There's a WhatsApp group. We'll involve you there. But let me just warn the Sardinats and the BIA government. The WhatsApp group you are going to be involved in is not where we talk strategy. So don't even waste your time coming thinking that you hear our strategies. Our people just get known. When we do strategy, you don't even know. We are not going to say that there. So you can join. You can join, come in. So because I know once we announce that there's a WhatsApp group, they'll start coming and sending numbers so that they think that they can hear what we are saying. But let me just tell you now, don't waste your time because we don't even talk strategy in those places. So I'm just trying to look if there are any more information. Look at something.
Yes, this one will not work. We don't plan for the future, so they will never work. Better we try to complement it, yes, no. So tell us for this one better.
Yes, so Savior, Nana, what? Thank you too. Herman, Watana Wata, yes. Okay, okay, yes, I've just checked my camera, Helen. Yeah, sorry, it was off. I've just checked it now, so I think you can send a request now. Yeah, sorry about that. The camera was off, so just refresh your page and then try again. Okay, so well, I think without any that's kept compris que l'insurrection populaire est la seule et unique moyen pour faire partie ce régime assassin des diables vivants. Par l'instant, encore par la don't give up. Anglophone, don't give up. Okay, yes, you know, that's Kemta just there. He's starting words at that. We have understood that it's only a popular uprising that is going to chase BA out. And that is what we are basically building. We need to get a popular uprising, get BA out of power. And I say... Yes, Versace. No, it's Rita. Johnny, yes, of course, we are not telling anyone our strategies. They'll only see it because that's why I was saying if they like, they can come, they can try to join groups, infiltrate, they will not get it because strategies are not passed on WhatsApp, they are not passed on social media. So sorry, you will not get our strategies, you will not hear it, you only hear the days we are coming out and then you get surprised by what is going to happen that day. No strategies from the brigade is going to be said on social media. So I will just recap, I will say, you know, it's a long struggle. The liberation of Cameroon is something that has started from a long time. It started with our forefathers, you know, LS Wandi, Felix Mume. We have even in other places like Thomas Sankara, you know, with Robert Umnyobe. All these people fought for the liberation of Cameroon and died. They didn't achieve it. It was passed on and on and on, and it is our turn. But we have something they did not have. We've got social media. We've got an opportunity now to liberate Cameroon once and for all. We've got history on our side. It is an opportunity to do it. Let us make our forefathers, the freedom fighters who died and shed their blood to get Cameroon free, let us make them proud. We can do it. You and I, every one of you listening to me today, you've taken off time and you can achieve that. And secondly, I want to say that there is no need for a lockdown in Cameroon because that only gives advantage to the BA regime and this. But we can do a lockdown in the diaspora. And I'm calling on the leaders of Southern Cameroon, if you guys truly want to liberate your people, the opportunity starts with liberating them from the clutches of Yaoundé. And the only way to liberate Yaoundé is to start fighting France and all the colonial and neo-colonial things that are holding time Cameroon, suffocating Cameroon. The only way to do that, to achieve that, is to work in synergy with everyone who has got an objective to liberate the country. It's not hard to tell. The Sardinats, you know them. Join us and let's fight together. We have the same objective, and it's to liberate our people. So, and finally we had talked about the abduction of Kamto, we just told them, well, you know what, you can do it as much as you like, but it's not going to stop us because we are not going to be intimidated by you. We cannot intimidate. You can arrest people, but you don't arrest an idea. The ideology for freedom, the quest for freedom is out there. You cannot put it in the genie is out of the bottle. You cannot lock it back and put it in prison. So you can arrest people, but you not stop the revolution. So sorry to you, ex-convict Atanganji. Sorry to you, Joseph Asomo. Sorry to you, all those other idiots. I don't like calling their names. And sorry to you, Paul Biya. We are not going to stop. Arresting Kamto just gave us more reason to fight. I was actually energized when he was arrested because it showed me that I did not misplace my trust. It shows that he's a true leader. He went out to get arrested. He went out to get his hands dirty. That is the leader I want to see. Someone who is not afraid to go to prison for what he believes. A professor, he should be relaxing somewhere, teaching in many universities, enjoying himself, enjoying his retirement if he wants to. He is out there getting arrested for you and I. Kamto has not got too many years to live, so what he's doing today is because he wants to leave a legacy for you and I and our children. Why can't we support him? We should support him. Support him, not because you want to belong to his party, but because you believe that he stands, he symbolizes. That's why I still see Agbobala as a leader. Agbobala is still the only leader in Southern Cameroon that I respect. Agbobala is still my only leader. I'm not going to say it, but the only other female leader is Kawala. People don't agree with her politics. Some people don't, but I agree with her. I believe in her. I'm not a member of CPP party, but I believe in Stand Up for Cameroon, which she leads. Because Stand Up for Cameroon is an ideology that resonates with me. I am standing up for Cameroon with Kawala. I'm not a CPP, whatever she stands, but she is a woman combatant in Cameroon fighting on the ground. And I respect her for that. I will fight with her any day, anytime. You can't disagree with her politics. That doesn't matter. It's not politics we are talking here. We're talking about the liberation of Cameroon, and she's fighting for that. I don't agree with Nijon Fundi on many things, but when he's talking about the liberation of Cameroon, I stand with him. I may not agree with Honorable Nietzsche, but because he organizes a match, he got beaten. An MP got beaten, and his leg was broken. I stand with Nietzsche. I stand with Honorable Nietzsche. I stand with Joshua Osi because they stood out and fought for the people. That is what we should do. Stand for people who are ready to stand for the collective good of the Cameroonian people, and you are not making a mistake, and history will smile favorably on you. Posterity would smile on you. So, you know, the arrest doesn't really change anything. It only makes us courageous enough to want to fight more. And in the days ahead, you said there's a meeting in Cologne, there's a demonstration in Italy, I think it should be in Rome, in Italy on the 9th, got meeting on the 9th in Cologne. There will probably be a demo in the UK on the 2nd, there will be a demo again on the 9th, so you can get involved. You can do your own bit. Come, irrespective of your political journey. No one will stop you at the gate and say, what do you belong to? It doesn't matter as long as you're expressing yourself and fighting the Biya regime. If you're biting his leg and I'm biting the tail, and Chris Ano is holding the canals, we'll bring him down faster. Chris Ano has held the canals, but he doesn't want every other people to knock it. Maybe the canals is already dead. That's why he's not feeling the pinch. At 86, I'm sure the canals died. So, Chris Ano, you're holding that canals. Let somebody hold the head. Someone hold the hand. Someone hold the fingers. And we can bring down that monster called Biya and the regime. So let us unite and fight it. And yeah, I guess there are no guest interventions. So I thank you all for taking time today. I thank all the members of the brigade, Anti-Sardina. They're doing a fantastic job, and I really appreciate. I thank also my local group here, the West Cameroon Movement for Change. Thank you for all what you've been doing. You have made me grow. You've accommodated my weaknesses a lot. I started this as a novice. I didn't know anything about what I was doing. I want to also extend it to other people who are not even members of, they are not from Cameroon. The movement for justice by any means necessary. Antonia Bright and Karen Doyle with Tony. I thank you guys because you guys have been helping me shape me as an activist. I thank Black Lives Matter. I thank, you know, all my comrades, the ones in Birmingham, Aliyah, you know, Sienna. I thank them. I thank Josh in London. I thank my friends Liz in Nottingham, and I thank all those, you know, who are everywhere. I'll call their names subsequently. as I remember them. But I thank you because you guys have made me who I am. You've made me to see how fighting for justice is important, how fighting in synergy with people who believe in the same ideology is important. And I cannot appreciate all of you enough. And I thank everyone who took their time today, those who have been showing so much love. I saw a lot of it going up, the likes and the shares. And I cannot appreciate you enough because you could have been doing something better than hearing me rant. But you can know that I'm ranting because something is annoying me and something is at stake. And with all that support and everything, I'm sure we are going to liberate Cameroon and we are going to be a free people. We are not going to stop fighting as long as you do not stop supporting us. Thank you very much and God bless you. God bless Cameroon.